Well, this is a real shocker. Both Russia and China have come out condemning the strikes on Iran at the United Nations, urging a ceasefire and more talks that didn't get to anything in the first place. Joining me now, the author of the Iran House, Tales of Revolution, Persecution, War, and Intrigue, Ken Timmerman, and author of The Coming Collapse of China, Gordon Chang. Gordon, I think China's the most important piece that may fall here in challenging Trump. How closely are they looking at this response?
They're certainly looking at it very closely because Iran is a Chinese proxy. And really what you had is we learned again that China is not a superpower. They have direct interests involved in Iran. They were not able to stop the United States. And afterwards, all they could do was issue meaningless diplomatic protests. And clearly, by the way, the Chinese radars that the Iranians were using, they did not work.
Boy,
as soon as they were powering up, we hit them, and they did not take down any American aircraft.
Yeah, no, facts there. Mr. Timmerman, though, the other side of this is Russia. All of a sudden, Russia's having a lot more dialogue about the Ukraine conflict. I mean, what's Putin so worried about now, right?
Right. Well, and one thing Gordon mentioned the radar, but the Iranians spent, I think it was $3 billion putting in a whole nationwide network of air defense radars from China with their state-of-the-art, the top of the top. And look what good it did them. Look, the Russians held naval exercises with Iran just a couple of days before these strikes began. And instead of warning the United States, they warned the Iranians to cool their jets. So I think the Russians are backing off. The Chinese are backing off. They don't want to get in our way in Iran because they could see us coming, and they see what devastation our military is capable of wreaking.
Gordon, what people aren't talking about, too, like, look, with every U.S. conflict, oil is somehow involved. However, this one is specific. China has now lost their Venezuelan stream of oil. They've now lost their Iranian stream of oil. They're kind of up a creek.
Yeah, so they have diversified sources of oil, Carl, but the point is that Iran supplies somewhere between 15 and 23% of China's imported oil.
Wow.
Venezuela was about 3 or 4%. You put it all together, it's actually quite significant because Chinese factories have been very used to heavily discounted oil from these two countries. And Trump has just cut it off. So this is a really important move on the part of the Trump administration, which understands that energy is a foundational brick of economies and societies, and China's not getting cheap oil anymore.
Right, well, that's the other thing, Mr. Timmerman, is the China has been producing energy at a rate 5x what the United States. They've accelerated their growth and surpassed us in their energy production, largely from oil and coal. This is a huge blow.
Yeah, well, it is. And you know, people talk about Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz. Well, if they close the Strait of Hormuz, guess whose oil will not get to market at all?
Right.
We have basically, if we wanted to, we have we can keep all of that oil from going to market. We could have a blockade on Iranian oil. We haven't done that yet. I think that could be a next step. I've heard talk of going into Karg Island, which is the main oil export terminal up at the head of the Gulf, close to Iraq. There's no need for that. We can stop any ship we want going through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Ken Timmerman, Gordon Chang, appreciate it very much.
Thanks, guys.